right now on News Channel 8 at 11.
Just pure and utter mayhem. I mean, people were tripping over each other on the floor, bags everywhere, crying, screaming.
Thank God we got out.
Chaos at Los Angeles International. A man opens fire, killing a TSA agent. Tonight, Tampa travelers react. And we have new information about the gunman. Good evening, I'm Keith Kay. Thank you for joining us tonight. A lone gunman with an assault rifle walked up to a security checkpoint at Los Angeles International Airport today and started shooting. The gunfire killed a 39-year-old TSA agent, and we just learned his name is Gerardo Hernandez. Also new tonight, the accused shooter, Paul Ciencia, was carrying a bag with a handwritten note saying that he wanted to kill the TSA agents. He was also asking people if they were agents and letting them go if they were not. Stephanie Stanton has more information from LA tonight.
Chaos and terror erupted at Los Angeles International Airport when 23-year-old Paul Anthony Ciencia, a New Jersey man living in Los Angeles, allegedly walked inside the airport carrying this assault rifle and more than 200 rounds of ammunition.
This morning, a gunman opened fire in LAX's Terminal 3, killing a TSA agent, the first to die in the line of duty.
That agent has been identified as 39-year-old Gerardo Hernandez. This cell phone video obtained by TMZ.com shows the chaos inside the terminal as shots rang out.
I was putting my shoes in the checkout point, and I just hear shots. It was bang, 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 bang.
I heard someone say, run, 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 and so I looked back, and all I could see was the crowd coming towards me.
Ciencia was able to get through the security area, through the exit, and continued inside the terminal where terrified passengers took cover.
Everybody just dropped to the ground and started, crawling along, just staying as low as possible.
Minutes later, armed airport police officers were able to stop the gunman and take him into custody.
I cannot overstate the competence and the heroism of the Lava Police, the two Lava police officers that initially responded to this incident.
Operations were disrupted with flights grounded and delayed for hours.
There were about 746 flights that were affected.
Now, as flights resume, authorities continue to investigate what led to this tragedy. Stephanie Stanton, NBC News, Los Angeles.
As you just heard there, today's airport shooting affected 746 flights nationwide, including some at Tampa International Airport. News Channel 8's Josh Thomas is following new developments there with TIA's security plan.
As air travelers at Tampa International Airport go about their day trying to catch a flight, they may have noticed more airport police officers and TSA personnel following the shooting in Los Angeles.
In an abundance of caution and to ease our passengers' minds, what we're doing is increasing our police presence, Tampa International Airport police presence throughout the whole terminal.
The mayhem at LAX reverberated at airports across the country. Not only did the shootings cause some flight delays, it caused some tense moments for passengers arriving here on flights from LAX.
We were not at that terminal, but it's obviously pretty disturbing to be there on the day. We missed it by about an hour, thankfully.
Air traveler Mita Schwartz arrived at TIA after catching a flight from LA. She learned about the shooting when she landed in Phoenix for a connecting flight to Tampa. And what was her reaction upon hearing the news?
Thank God we got out. To be honest with you, that was the reaction, is thank God we got out.
TIA officials say that while the shooting in Los Angeles may have been isolated, they did change some plans.
We actually canceled a training exercise for our police department today so that we could get more officers in the terminal.
And that increased presence at TIA will last through tonight and probably into tomorrow. In Tampa, Josh Thomas, News Channel 8.
We are following some breaking news tonight in Pinellas County. That is where deputies shot a man they say was trying to sell guns at a hotel. News Channel 8's Peter Bernard is live at the Suburban Extended Stay Hotel. That's in Largo. He has the latest. Peter?
Hi there, Keith. Investigators are out here right now combing the scene for evidence. The bad guy is at Bayfront Medical Center. We don't know his condition and we don't know his name, but we do know some other stuff, and here it is. A gray Volvo SUV is at the center of this incident. The sheriff tells me they found out a man planned to meet with people to sell guns in the rear area of the Suburban Hotel. He says he'd done this in the past with as many as 13 guns and also sold illegal drugs. So the undercover deputies set up a surveillance and watched the man back the SUV into a parking space. Instead of gun buyers, deputies approached the SUV and ordered the driver out. And that's when things went really south really fast.
He decided to accelerate forward. He reached into his waistband and didn't follow any of the instructions the deputies gave him. After he was reaching into his waistband, one of the deputies, Deputy Bill Hardigan, in fear for his safety, knowing that the guy was armed, and not following instructions and reaching into his waistband, he fired several times, striking the subject.
And the sheriff says right now that it's very lucky that no deputies were injured in this. He says they did find 2 guns and illegal drugs inside that SUV. Right now, we don't know what the man's name is, and we also don't know if he's going to survive. In Largo, Peter Bernard, News Channel 8.
Thanks, Peter. Now some more breaking news. An elderly man robbed and bound in his own home had to chew his way through duct tape before calling 911 for help. When police arrived at the Gulfport Boulevard South home, the victim said he knew the man who tied him up and took off with his wallet and car. The Highway Patrol caught up with 24-year-old Nathan Rewerts in Pasco County with the help of that stolen car's OnStar system. Former Governor Charlie Crist wants his old job back, this time as a Democrat. The State Division of Elections now has the filing posted on its website. Crist plans to make the official announcement Monday morning in St. Petersburg, and we'll sit down for a one-on-one interview with him that will air on Monday 6 o'clock news that night. Also Monday, not to be outdone, Governor Rick Scott's political committee plans to start airing anti-Crist ads. It sounds like a joke, but new numbers show only 6 people managed to enroll in the federal health care exchange on day 1. That little fun fact was in the papers, and the White House handed over to Congress. Looking ahead, the White House says it is recruiting top tech talent, including experts from Google, to fix the healthcare.gov site. Food banks are bracing for increased demand after cuts to food stamps took effect today. A $5 billion supplement to the program, triggered by the recession, has now expired. The cut translates to $11 a month or $36 for a family of 4. For people like Connie Rhodes, a mother of 3 and now laid off after 10 years of teaching, this is going to hurt.
It's really hard to always tell them, no, you can't have that food item, or you can't have that necessity for living, because I don't have the money to buy it for you.
Congress is considering further cuts to food stamps. Meantime, a committee is working to find some sort of a compromise. New tonight, Honda recalling nearly 350,000 Odyssey minivans. This recall involves 2007 and 2008 model years. There is a possible problem that can cause the minivan to break suddenly. Honda says it is not aware of any crashes or injuries related to this problem. You can contact your dealer for a repair. You may want to take a closer look at the text you're sending to your significant other. There's a new study that says not all texting is good for your relationship. A study of hundreds of young couples found that affectionate text enhanced relationships, but texting heavier stuff like relationship problems had negative impacts. How much you text matters as well. Men who sent and received a bunch of texts were less satisfied with their relationships, but women who sent texts more often said the opposite. Coming up next in 3 minutes, the fight over legalizing medical marijuana in Florida heats up.
It is absolutely physically and mentally addictive.
Coming up after the break, a powerful voice in the community takes on critics and launches his own campaign. Also tonight, the search for answers, what scientists are learning about a beached whale.
Cold front is headed our way. You can see these showers kind of sliding toward the Bay Area. We'll talk about rain chances tomorrow and cooler temperatures, drier weather too, coming up.
An intense battle is brewing over the legalization of medical marijuana in Florida. Well-known attorney John Morgan is pushing for a vote, while Attorney General Pam Bondi is fighting to keep that from happening. As News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson tells us, critics are calling marijuana a gateway drug that leads to other addictions.
Visit forthepeople.com to learn.
Attorney John Morgan is a well-known figure on TV and on billboards advertising his legal practice. In the last few months, he's also been spending his own money to advocate for a different cause, medical marijuana.
This is a matter of compassion and mercy. This is for people who have really, really bad injuries, really, really bad diseases, and many are terminal.
Morgan says he became aware of the benefits of medical marijuana when his father suffered from esophageal cancer.
His life ended, but the quality of life at the end was one of peace and mercy, and so I saw it there.
Then Morgan became aware of the case of Kathy Jordan.
I wanted to keep myself alive.
We've profiled Kathy Jordan before. She suffers from ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. She says marijuana is keeping her alive. But deputies raided her home and seized marijuana plants that her husband was growing for her. The state attorney eventually decided not to file charges against the Jordans. Tammy Strickling doesn't believe there are benefits to marijuana.
About 85 to 90% of our clients either started with marijuana or are using marijuana in addition to whatever their drug of choice is.
Strickling is the executive director of the Suncoast Rehabilitation Center. She says marijuana is a gateway drug to other drugs.
It is absolutely physically and mentally addictive. And THC stores in the body and actually negatively affects brain function, long-term memory.
John Morgan thinks that's wrong.
These people who say it's a gateway drug, it's a smokescreen, it's a red herring, it's a way to scare people. And I think that Florida's too smart to be scared.
Morgan says he's going to continue to fight for a law that allows the use of marijuana for medical purposes because he's convinced it works. Jeff Patterson, News Channel 8.
It could be several more weeks before test results show what caused a sperm whale to beach itself near Johns Pass. The 32-foot whale appeared sick and emaciated when beachgoers spotted her yesterday morning. Scientists used heavy machinery to bring the whale ashore on Fort DeSoto Beach. Marine biologists from all over the Bay Area measured the whale and gathered unique research. Scientists did see infection and fluid around the heart, but they can't say for sure if that contributed to her death.
Had a lot of clouds in the second half of the day, especially across northern areas, thanks to a cold front approaching, and you just saw the showers and thunderstorms back to our west. So we'll leave that in the forecast in the early part of the day, moving from north to south like it typically does when a cold front moves in. 80 degrees at noon, and at 6 p.m. we should start to see some clearing and eventually some cooler, drier air building in. That's good news. Cold front will bring that. 76 at Tampa International Airport. The dew points are very high. That's summer-like, 75. Thanks to that west and southwesterly wind that's just been bringing in warm Gulf air and air from the south as well. 72 degrees in Lakeland, 74 in Winter Haven, also Sebring, 75 in Bradenton, 75 Crystal River, and 70 in Northport right now around the area. And of course, increasing clouds in the overnight and the possibility of seeing some rain. There's a cold front on the map. It continues to clear out sections of northern part of Florida, but kind of a rainy, cloudy day across Tallahassee. That's where the current activity is located. So we could definitely see some overnight showers and potentially thunderstorms up around the Nature Coast as it continues from west to east, the movement of these showers. So that morning shower chance, a likelihood ahead of the front itself. We'll keep that rain chance in across the early afternoon hours all the way down to the south. But it should move pretty quickly through the area. All these little dots are lightning strikes, and there's some rain pushing towards Cedar Key. So again, you folks in northern counties, Citrus, Hernando, you might see some early morning rain, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then pushing towards sunrise around the rest of the Bay Area. A look at the RPM forecast computer model. Again, you see that cold front, and of course the isolated showers we'll see in the forecast for tonight. Rough timing on that. That's around 8:40 a.m. A little bit slower than it was on the last computer model run, and it's very difficult to time the line itself, but you see it back to the west at the moment. So the showers and thunderstorms will push down to the south, and then the rain will exit to our south, some clearing, but still some remaining rain possible behind the front up around a midday or so. But then the clearing takes place under high pressure, and that'll bring in a cooler northeasterly wind, and certainly temperatures and conditions will be drier. Miami FSU looking like good weather there, 67 degrees. Florida and Georgia, 75 degrees in Jacksonville for that game. Both of these games pretty huge for both schools. And, of course, obviously the Florida State-Miami game, I think in the rankings right now, a little bit of a bigger deal. And Florida A&M and Norfolk State, 70 degrees. In Norfolk, Virginia, that's not bad for Virginia. And finally, the Bucks and the Seahawks, 48 degrees at game time out in Seattle, out in the Pacific Northwest for the guys coming in from Central Florida. 73 degrees. That is our forecast low temperature. The next 3 days, again, we're looking for our temps to stay a little cooler. 79 for Sunday. Note the sunshine. That'll be kind of nice. And then for Monday, too, lower humidity. But we'll bring that humidity back a little bit, especially by Wednesday or so. High temperatures in the upper 80s through this period. And again, the rain chances will be fairly slight, but pick up a little bit long term as well, about 30% as we get on into next Wednesday. So overall, Keith, not a bad weekend. We are going to have to work some rain through. Of course, we got the Heart Walk tomorrow. That's our little logo right there. And we hope that the timing will be off on that line of showers, but a rain chance is definitely there.